These guys are ready to go. I'm a little bit worried, like afraid of what happened in 𝗬𝗏 because they played 3 games. They were speed running the semifinals where Durk and 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗶 didn't even take a very long time for 2. 𝗬𝗏 and Luluch played 3.
Yeah, you're so right. I was actually expecting to go ahead and spectate the other game because I thought our game ended up finishing up relatively fast. So yeah, I was impressed as well how fast Lulu finished up their matchup against 𝗬𝗏. And as you said, it was 3 whole games, right? We only did 2 games, so super speedy matchup.
We just have to hope that it's not going to continue on for this one. We need at least a good 15 rounds, 3 games in a row. Give us a show, Luluch.
Yeah, I mean, if these guys want it, I mean, I'm sure these guys know exactly what they want to accomplish here today, and that is victory. Wanting to go home proud and happy, being crowned today's weekly champion. And both of these players definitely have exactly what it takes to get that job done. So let's just see it here. These are the final competitors, guys. I can't believe it's all coming to an end. As I keep saying over and over again, we started with a total of 40 players here today, and this is it. Final player still standing on the top of the hill. Who's gonna get finally knocked out and stand on his lonesome at the very top? We will get all those answers here in this best of 3 series. But let's go ahead and see this pick and bans play itself out. 𝗬𝗏 getting picked up on the side of Durk and Lulu. Let's see what this first 2 options are looking like.
Tolkien first is solid for the 𝗬𝗏, but it does have the pretty hard counter of 𝗬𝗏. Pretty hard counter right back at you, 𝗬𝗏, but a hasty lunge not going to be enough to kill on its own. Rawrzyyy is a pretty solid choice. If you imagine the 𝗬𝗏 is swapping out to something else, something safer, I mean, this Rawrzyyy is just going to wreak havoc. A stone ball in a 𝗬𝗏 is dead or very close to it, and there's nothing Tolkien can do to fight back against Durk's Rawrzyyy.
Yeah, I believe so as well. I think Rawrzyyy has a definitely clean playability here against Lulu's current opener. There's nothing really threatening out on turn 1. Of course, on turn 2, however, you do have that nasty black hole potentially coming its way, but you probably would have threatened it already, right? Because Stone Ball puts it kind of really low, and then Sharp Stab might be fast enough, but of course you do have that +2 speed, so maybe it can get off. I just don't think Lulu will be daring enough to leave it in though.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too scary. I think when you made it all the way to finals, you don't want to throw it away on a turn 1 miscalculation.
Yeah, of course, fortunately for these guys, it is a best of 3 series, so these guys can definitely learn from their mistakes, but this is it. The time is now. Finals time. I am so excited. Let's go ahead and see who's going to get the slight upper hand in today's final for this very first matchup here.
Man, all these Tems on Luluch's side that are just the wrong name. We've got Mudred the Minotaur. We've got 𝗏𝗏 the Mudred. That's going to be confusing later.
Yeah, Lulu always has it out for the casters out here, does he not? Mudred making it confusing, 𝗏𝗏 making it confusing. I wonder if it throws his opponents off a little bit. Maybe so. Maybe it's a little bit of mind games here and there. But it looks like these guys decided on their plays. Rusher going to be triggering since it is going to be retreating. And out comes the 𝗂𝗏 to really allow that Rotor to feel the pressure on that turn 2 Aquatic Whirlwind potentiality.
Oh, you know, we see the hand fan, which I think means true informed Luluch was not able to watch the last game. I guess he was playing or something. Didn't know about the thick skin Rawrzyyy, taking a lot of damage for his sins. Just trying to get Rawrzyyy down to Aquatic Whirlwind range, I would imagine, but it's just not going to be enough. Aquatic, I don't think, is good for 80%. And now Tolkien down at 42. He's going to go down if he stays in to try to get a little bit of damage on 𝗬𝗏.
Yeah, I believe so as well, either via the mirroring or just a double up. Something like a helicopter kick followed by a goring. I could only agree more. I think that's going to be more than enough to take down the remaining HP from that Tolkien. But you know, I wouldn't put it past this 𝗂𝗏 to do 80%. It seems like way too tall of a task to ask for, of course. But man, 𝗂𝗏's packed such a punch. I could almost see it. maybe if you really want to, if you really find this rotor really troublesome, maybe you let go of the tornado. I just don't think it's worth it though. I don't think deploying a tornado when it's going to be reduced by 50% from the thick skin, I don't think that could ever be worth it. But let's see if Lulu decides to do it anyways.
I think that would be a very big investment onto a rotor that could easily turn into a Volorend, and then it all kind of goes away. It would be good damage to start off at the very least, but as we saw previously with Durk's very, very sparkly Luma Volorend, it sets itself up with a single cold breeze and then just starts to go for it. And there are more special attackers on Luluch's side. We're really just looking at this Minotaur named Mudred as the physical. So the plume spam from 𝗬𝗪𝗧 and Volorend isn't going to be as effective as it was against Scarsane, but it is still going to chip away over and over again. It's going to be more slingshot procs over and over again. And Volorend is going to run away with things because of its speed. There's still, Tems that really appreciate going first on Luluch's side. With the Vlash named Vlash, the Mudred, it's pretty fragile. It's not going to like a +4, +6 HKS. That could just be enough to kill it in contention with another attack. Doesn't really do much damage.
Yeah, I could totally see that. One thing I will say on that same note, it is an aerobic, so as you mentioned, he has a lot of special attackers, so if he's able to eat some of those attacks and then dish out its own special attack, those minus special defense on the Volorend, once it starts getting buffed up there, could be working out in the favor of Lulu as well, so that's something to keep an eye on as well. But okay, nice little Fiery Soul doing 30% damage onto the bird. But now the 𝗂𝗏 coming on through, really pressuring out the Tokon. Let's try to see what it can swap into.
I don't think he needs to swap.
Okay, you think just let it go?
I think that Durk is clicking Turbo on 𝗂𝗏 and Cold Breeze on Vola.
Wow.
Really going to set himself up this turn. And I think that he's pretty much free to double in on the 𝗂𝗏 if he wants to get that kill.
Rawrzyyy, I really like your thinking here. So does Lulu make the read? He say, you know what? I'm either willing to let my Tokon go if he does go for an offensive attack on the 𝗂𝗏, or can I try to dish out the pain with something like a tornado on the 𝗂𝗏 spot, expecting, as you said, the turbo choreography just to get the win synergy plus, is +3 or +4 with the synergy?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, we don't know because they recently changed it, but it was traditionally +2 speed, which is why I'm saying +4, but we could always find out as we go.
Yeah, I'm taking a look for us real quick. It would be +3 with synergy.
Okay. Well, here we go. Tourney trying to put the pain on the 𝗂𝗏, but at the very least with that mental synergy, gonna be putting it to rest. That does mean 𝗂𝗏 did not click Aquatic Whirlwind, because I don't believe there's any world that the Tourney outsped unless it becomes 4 priority. It might, right? Is it 1.75 increase? I think it might be with the synergy.
I just don't understand how Tort can go this fast. Its base is 52.
Yeah,
compared to 𝗂𝗏's base is 100.
I know.
Even a water cannon should have outsped in my mind.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this Tourney is fast. Like we said before, we can't judge a book by its cover. This guy's a little bigger man, but boy, does he run fast. And we're seeing that pay off very well for Lulu, because controlling the 𝗂𝗏 is something you definitely want to do. Now you just have to focus on that right-hand spot. Unfortunately, you could only do so with the left hand, because you don't want to try to eat a 𝗬𝗪𝗇 with the Tourney. So let's go ahead and find out. 𝗂𝗏 gonna get retreated for the time being. Out comes the 𝗬𝗪𝗧.
Contagious proccing. Oh yeah, so it is the Tourney leaving. It's not going to be Rusher this time. He's staying in, hopefully hitting that Hazrat instead of the 𝗬𝗪𝗧 and not doing much damage. A morale boosting whip really working out well here, but a sparkling bullet. It's just going to be the taser that gets wiped away by 𝗬𝗪𝗧's bait. Vlash, the Mudred, is very, very good under this board state. Lava Wave neutral damage, not the best thing to take, but still nice and healthy, as long as it can outspeed this 𝗬𝗬𝗧.
Exactly. Fortunately for Lulu, all the melee techniques on Durk's side on this 𝗬𝗬𝗧, they're all going to be normal priority. So if he has a faster Mudrid, he should be able to get off the Soil Steam or this Does Vortex, and that should definitely be more than enough to take care of that remaining 78% HP on the 𝗬𝗬𝗧. So that's something that Durk has to be considered of. Does he want to swap into something like the Rotor, something like the Voldaren? I mean, of course, be careful with the Voldaren with the Minotaur here. So I'm thinking it almost has to be the Rotor. If Lulu wants to catch that read, maybe a black hole in that spot doesn't sound too terrible. But of course, it does depend on the swap or not. And okay, it's actually going to be the Minotaur, expecting the 𝗬𝗬𝗧 to stay in and perhaps sharp stab that spot. So really good understanding for Lulu.
Yeah, I wonder if this means Lelouch has actually targeted the 𝗬𝗲𝗺 instead. The Soil Steam outspeeds and does hit 𝗬𝗬𝗧. Not enough to kill on its own, but that mirroring brings this Mudrid so low. Helicopter kick, absolutely enough to kill. And now 𝗬𝗺, if he clicked Wastewater, no, it is the Lava Wave. Doesn't want to click Wastewater, doesn't want to destroy the 𝗬𝗵𝗃 on entry. We have to appreciate that. That's a little bit of respect from Durk.
Yeah, you know, maybe could have read it there, but yeah, didn't want to go for the Wastewater, even though it was a Minotaur, right? It didn't really have too much to lose, but maybe he clicked it on the left spot before it died. Maybe that was a Lava Wave on the Mudrid, just in case. But okay, out comes the Tolkon, Fiery Soul online. He could elect to do that on the 𝗬𝗬𝗧. This 𝗬𝗵𝗃 not feeling too comfortable here. If you go for an Aquatic Whirlwind, the mirroring should... Actually, you know, Rawrzyyy, how does mirroring work if it only takes down 9%? It only reciprocates that much, right? Or, you know, a percentage of that much is not the full damage, correct?
Yeah, so it's only going to be that small percentage of,
Okay.
like, if you've only got 9%, or, I mean, whatever this would end up being, 40, 50 HP. It's only going to be that small percentage of the 40, 50 HP. It's thankfully no more mirroring bombs.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, find himself already low. So yeah, as you mentioned, no more mirroring bombs like those good old Fainted Curse. But yeah, it still feels like the slight upper hand leaning towards Durk. But you know, in actuality, I still think it's neck and neck. Out comes the bird. Let's see what it's going to be able to get done here. Potentially eating something like the 𝗬𝗶𝗺, but if it's directed to this Rotor spot, where is it going? Awesome. Really well read for decided Durk.
Oh, wow. And the thick skin for a tornado. Durk has just been in control this entire tournament.
Absolutely. A little bit living in Lulu's mind, if you will. Knowing exactly what he wants to get done, where he wants to get done, and what techniques he wants to do, right? Like, he ate that turn beautifully. It did cost him a little bit, though. If we're starting to look here on the scoreboard, all of Durk's Temtems are falling a little bit low into that orange-yellow HP pool, though, right? So little by little, Lulu is getting across some good damage. But still, a lot of good techniques still remaining on the remaining Temtems of Durk, so still not out of it whatsoever. Here we go, though. Minotaur coming back in to try to put some good old pressure on the Voldaren. Toxic Plume doesn't have the synergy this time, but should be enough to guarantee the kill on this Tolkon.
Yeah, absolutely. 12%. It will be going down. The Fire Tornado on Voldaren, not enough to kill on its own, but considering we've got this Minotaur Mudrid in here, the weird concoction of Thames surviving the poison, maybe would have been nicer to do the damage on Ruler instead and just let Minotaur do the things it's meant to do, which in this case would have been killing every single Tem that swaps in, except for the 𝗬𝗺, which would have just taken a lot of damage.
Yeah, and that is so big for Lulu here, surviving by 1 or 2 HP on that Minotaur, able to get off a final piezoelectric blow. If he wants to save it, I mean, he's gonna go down speed, but oh, Lulu did not see. And so guys, round number 2 of our finals is about to begin here. Pat, it's fine.
It looks like Lelouch has a much stronger lead than previously. You know, he's not going to be playing around with 𝗏𝗏𝗺 against two Tems that 𝗏𝗏𝗺 doesn't want to play with. He does take quite a bit of damage on 𝗧𝗵𝗺 if everybody stays in and clicks their moves, but I think that this does lead to, I mean, either a dead 𝗬𝗚𝗃 or a dead 𝗬𝗏𝗃. It's really up to his choice.
You're saying a good old double into one of those spots?
If everybody were to stay and play nice, of course, that's not very likely to happen.
Yeah, but it is the threat, right? It's always the threat of what can happen that causes those reactions from the players. So yeah, 𝗬𝗏𝗃 feeling very, very threatened here, as you said, as well as the 𝗬𝗚𝗃 from those lava waves. So yeah, pick his poison there is looking a little problematic for Durk, but that's what Lulu does best. When Lulu has the blue side and gets that counter pick, he really tends to shine. So let's see, maybe game number 2, I don't want to jinx anything, could be going his way, but a whole lot more rounds underway. And hey, these guys pick and ban super fast, so this is it, guys. Round number 2, as I mentioned, of our grand finals. Can Durk close things out, go completely undefeated in today's tournament, or can the first person to take a single game off of him be our finalist here in Lulu as well? So let's go ahead and find out.
I mean, Durk already with 11 wins, he's basically he's won round 1 of Dojo Wars on his own. This is a fantastic start for the 𝗧𝗵𝗶. He just has to do one more win, and it's an entire tournament's worth of victories for Durk.
Yeah, and of course he gets so much presents here. Not presents, but rewards. For those just joining in, we got a really nice reward for the champion, guys. A perfect 7 SV Luma going to the champion, and of course a whole lot of Panzons to get whatever you want. Maybe not whatever you want, but a whole lot of goodies. You know, probably these tamers are going to use it for TV trading, right, Rawrzyyy? They don't like to TV train. They just buy all the fruits they can.
Yeah, I haven't bought fruits I haven't TV trained myself. I've always bought fruits for for forever now. But they are already going into it. Everybody stayed in and played nice, which is not what I was expecting to happen. So that means 𝗬𝗏𝗃 goes down before Durk even has the opportunity to attack. A helicopter kick is the most he can hope for. Now it's 𝗬𝗵𝗺. We know that it does outspeed the 1 prio. He's not terrified of a sharp stabs. This might be a decent time. Click Bamboozle on your rat. Go for the lava wave and protect yourself against 𝗏𝗺𝗁𝗍 here.
You know, for some at home might be wondering, why did Durk leave the 𝗬𝗏𝗃 in knowing that it's going to get 2-hit KO, right? It seemed rather strange, but this is where the mind games come into play, right? Against other players, your opponent would consider that 𝗬𝗏𝗃 swaps out and would maybe attack the 𝗬𝗚𝗃 instead. But that's the mind games, as I mentioned. Lulu was just keeping it 100% straightforward, trying to read the read, if you will, of it staying in and actually getting paid very handsomely for that play. So well on Lulu, getting one entire Temtem up just as early as turn 2. So good on him getting that early advantage. Let's go ahead and see what this turn 2 entails.
Initially, it's that swap to his own 𝗬𝗏𝗃, protecting the 𝗬𝗵𝗵 from any big hits, giving Lava Wave synergy, potentially killing 𝗬𝗚𝗃. I don't know, that's a lot to ask for. Down to 35 is a great start. That's more than enough for 𝗬𝗏𝗃 to finish off next time. And the Crystal Bite, it's just not going to be enough, even with a double in of Hypoxia. No, it is targeting that rat. It will be enough to kill the rat. Goodbye, Luma.
Yes. See you later, Luma number 1. But hey, Luma number 2 still hanging out on the board. Aquatic Whirlwind is online. It should be enough to take down that 35 remaining from the 𝗬𝗚𝗃. But here we go. He doesn't have to worry too much about that physical presence on the 𝗬𝗚𝗃 thanks to that heater trait getting off here. But you know, what is faster? I haven't been paying attention on that game number 1. AWW 3 prio 𝗬𝗏𝗃 or Tornado from this 𝗏𝗺𝗁𝗍? What are you placing your bets on, Rawrzyyy?
I think if it's a speed match, Ali and the Luch always get my bid.
Okay.
I think that pretty much under any circumstance, considering 𝗬𝗏𝗃 has a higher base speed, we just have to assume there's 500 TVs in speed.
I think so as well. I don't know if I dare say all the way like 500, you know, max speed per se. But yeah, obviously we saw Tourney outspeed things like oh, I'm already forgetting what it outspeed, but period. Tourney outspeeding anything is already impressive. So yeah, I could definitely agree with that. 𝗬𝗂𝗇 should be able to get off a final aquatic whirlwind. But the question is, would you rather save the aquatic whirlwind for something like this rotor, and maybe you protect it now? You bring in something like the 𝗬𝗵𝗶, expecting the 𝗬𝗬𝗪 to retreat. That could maybe be a potential line to play for Lulu, but we'll see.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good way to go. Keep 𝗬𝗂𝗪 safe, just because it is the fastest way to deal with Rawrzyyy. If you double in with 𝗬𝗵𝗶 and 𝗬𝗂𝗪, or maybe do like a little bit of tick damage with the Mudrid and 𝗬𝗂𝗪, that would be faster and allow 𝗬𝗵𝗶 to fight other things, which would be nice. Kiinu swapping in for 𝗬𝗬𝗪, though, keeping it nice and safe. If it is throwing out this aquatic whirlwind, oh, this is a big kind of toss away for this 𝗬𝗂𝗪, using its priority, not killing the 𝗬𝗺𝗀, eating the tornado back. I don't think it's going to be able to survive that. No, 39-0, 𝗬𝗂𝗪 gone, and now 𝗬𝗵𝗶's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, that was actually a really good turn for Durk there. I don't think Lulu anticipated that Kiinu to come in buffing up the 𝗬𝗺𝗀. I thought, I think Lulu read that, 𝗬𝗬𝗪 was going to retreat. That's why he didn't want to go into it. But yeah, staying in, getting the confirmed kill on the 𝗬𝗂𝗪, going 2 Temtems up, or 1 Temtem up rather. But now more importantly is this rotor is feeling a whole lot stronger all of a sudden. I know 𝗬𝗵𝗶's strong, but I dare say is not like the 𝗬𝗺𝗀 Gamma Burst strong, right? So I'm not too sure if it's going to be doing things like 70% damage on the rotor. But of course, effective damage is effective damage. So that is a decent answer. But it is going to be rough. Rotor's still feeling decently well here.
I think one of the biggest differences, too, between the Gamma Burst and anything 𝗬𝗵𝗶 can use, it's going to be the defensive stats of Rawrzyyy. Of course, Gamma Burst has higher damage with more limitations and fewer Tems, but Rawrzyyy is 91 base defense and 65 base special defense.
Wow.
So that 91 is just going to eat and eat and eat all of 𝗬𝗵𝗶's attacks.
Yeah, really well said. That is a big difference. You're absolutely right. 𝗬𝗵𝗶 is a physical attacker with those matter teleports. The big difference was 𝗬𝗺𝗀 was a special attacker with those big gamma bursts. So yeah, that's actually going to make a world of difference, and we might be finding out here shortly. It is going to be a double swap. The crystal does it get the better? No, I actually thought it was going to 𝗬𝗬𝗪, but instead it goes for the rotor. But good read for Lulu, catching that mirror and 𝗬𝗬𝗪 on the entry, and the mirroring wasn't all that bad there. So that's a little mini success for Lulu there.
Yeah, now Kiinu swapping in. Lelouch could really just do the same thing, right? Throw a little bit of fire, it would OX into the Kiinu, throw a crystal dust into the Kiinu. If it swaps into 𝗬𝗺𝗀, you kill. If it stays as Kiinu, you potentially kill. You just be sacrificing one of your Tems in the process.
Yeah, I believe so. I think that's worth it. I'm wondering though, because Fire Tornado should be online now. Do you just kind of go crazy here, overexert very much so, just to get that Fire Tornado? Because as you mentioned, the one Temtem that could eat it the best is already on the board, so you don't have any risk of dealing with a potential swap out. Either Kiinu has to bear the force of the Fire Tornado, or that 𝗬𝗺𝗀 that you want to get rid of anyways. And yeah, looks like Lulu's agreeing with us here. Fire Tornado overexerting all the way. Oh, so close. That was 1 HP there.
All the way down to 0.7, just enough for a resin trap to bring 𝗬𝗵𝗶, the most important Tem for Lelouch, down to 46, with a stone ball as well, down to 3%. There is no way this 𝗬𝗵𝗶 can defeat Rawrzyyy anymore. I think that surviving the calxed Kiinu might have just been enough for Durk to undefeated streak this tournament.
Unbelievable. Such great team that Durk has managed to put together for today's tournament. Great TV calcs, as we're seeing here. Kiinu surviving an entire Fire Tornado from that Tokon. So very respectable play coming out from both of these tamers. But I was giving the upper hand to Lulu this game. But as we keep reiterating, this rotor as more time passes, as 𝗵𝗶's HP gets drained down to nil, it's really becoming quite the nuisance for Lulu. Even 𝗏𝗏 the Mudrid could do like a little something, but honestly not really anything. And the other way around can't be said the same, right? A stone ball to the face, a rock fall to the face, that's gonna be huge damage on the Mudrid.
Yeah, Kiinu just going for the beta burst, killing 𝗵𝗵. Man, that is so much goring now onto Mudrid, down to 40%. Tzolk'in comes back in, and it just feels like it's 2 over now. There's no way for this roller to go down, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. And yeah, it looks like Lulu could only agree. So ladies and gents and tamers around the world, we have crowned a champion here today, and his name is Durk.